baby. It's the Mr. Judd Show.
Yes, it is. It's a Tuesday in beautiful, little overcast and rainy Chattanooga, Tennessee. You're listening to Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240, and it is a wonderful day as always is. I want to remind you, and we've got a special treat coming up here in just a minute. I want to remind you that the Wings Over North Georgia Air Show is this weekend. It is Saturday and Sunday. They've got the Budweiser team that's going to be kicking it off. Of course, they're going to have tons of airplanes on the ground, static, that you can see, you can walk through. Plus, there's going to be a nice air show. And we are very fortunate to have on the phone with us right now Ken Peach, which is one of the solo flyers. And Ken actually does something that's pretty cool. He lands on looks like a pickup truck, but I'm going to let Ken tell you more about that. Hello, Kent. This is Eric Judd.
Hey.
And you're welcome to Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240.
Thanks for having me on the program today. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So you'll be in Rome. It's actually at the Rome Airport in North Georgia this weekend, and kind of give us a quick overview of what your show will be doing, what you're part of the show.
I do 3 different acts each day. I start out with doing a thing called a comedy act, and what it is, it shows the airplane, and it's kind of an educational act in its own way. It shows the airplane falling apart in the sky, loose parts, and I started doing that back in the 1970s, just because I was flying air ambulance and charter back then, and people were always worried about if something fell off an airplane, I was going to fall out of the sky. Well, I go up and show that it can fall apart and still fly because of the redundant systems on the plane. And that's the first act I do. The next act, I do land on top of a pickup truck, but in Rome, it's kind of special because I've got the motorhome that I land on top of. It's Class C RV motorhome, and I land on top of that. On that one, I've got about 8 inches on each side to get the airplane on and touch down and not fall off to the side. So I have to try a few times, and I actually do the thing as an attempt because I don't always make it. And then the next act I do is called a dead stick act. They call that because the prop is stopped, and the old days are wood, and so that's why they call them a dead stick. Prop stopped from 6,000 feet high, over a mile high, and I do aerobatics down to the ground with no power, gliding down, and then I coast to a stop at the end by putting the spinner of the prop in the hand of the announcer or somebody standing out in the runway.
Oh, wow. That sounds like a good, I don't know if that's a comedy part with things falling off the airplane. I mean, especially if y'all were in there with you.
Well,
so
it's funny. You got to come and see it.
I'm
can't
definitely
really explain it too good. You got to come. I have to have everybody come on and take a look because it loses an aileron, it loses tires and stuff like that.
Oh, wow. And now what is the name of your plane? I like the name of your plane. Tell everybody what it is.
It's funny. Everybody wonders because it's only 300 were built back in 1941, and it's called an Interstate Cadet. And the reason it's a cadet, it was built for the civilian pilot training program before World War II. So it's a 1941 airplane. The one that's going to be in Rome, I've got 2 of them. The one that's in Rome was built 1 month and 3 days before Pearl Harbor.
Oh, wow.
And the significance of that is I had the airplane. I sold it to a guy. I bought the plane and rebuilt it. So people remember Pearl Harbor. It was the first airplane shot at, one of the first airplanes shot at during the attack at Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941.
Well, that is a piece of history. That is a big piece of history.
It is. Yeah, it is. And this airplane is exactly the same as that one. And so people should come out and take a look and see what they think of it.
Now, will they be, when it's sitting on the ground, will people be able to come up to it and look at it and walk around it?
I'm going to try and have it right out in front of the fence. I can't put it in the crowd because I go 3 times. I'm pretty busy.
Right.
So I'm going to have it up right next to the fence there so people come up and I can talk to them a bit. Yeah, I'd love to talk to people.
Okay. And are you sponsored by anybody?
I am. Thanks for bringing that up. That's kind of important. I'm sponsored by Jelly Belly Candy Company, and I'm hoping everybody knows about them, but I'm just trying to get the awareness to it. And we give away samples during the shows to the crowd of Jelly Belly candies, and they're a jelly bean is what they are, and they're called the Original Gourmet Jelly Belly Jelly Bean, and it's a fantastic company, great people, and the product is I have a problem. I'm getting a Jelly Belly because I'm eating so many of them. Yeah.
Well, now, so you're going to perform 3 times, both on Saturday and Sunday, and you do the comedy act first. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Do that first. The next thing I do is the landing on top of the motorhome, and then the last one will be the one where I shut the engine off over a mile high and come on down.
Okay.
Yep.
So, well, let me ask you, when you land on the motorhome, do you actually land and bring the aircraft to a stop, or do you just kind of touch on it and keep going?
Yep. No, we bring it to stop. We'll taxi it right back in front of the crowds, and so people can see that it's actually on the motorhome. And then a lot of people, it's kind of funny, a lot of people ask, how do you get it back off of there again? Matter of fact, well, there's some people that you think would know better, but it took them, well, I'm not even going to say what it was, but it's pretty funny. They're high-level guys, and they said, how do you get that back off? Well, what I do is I go back out on the runway, unlock it, run it down the runway until I get flying speed, and then take off.
Oh, wow.
So that's what I'll do. I'll take it, stop in front of the crowd, go back out, and take off.
Okay, so you'll land, and then you'll pull in front of the crowd, and then you take off from the RV again, which that would be pretty neat.
Yep.
So that RV will have to be, and what is your takeoff speed? What is your takeoff speed?
I get going, I like to get, when I land on it, I like to get around 60 miles an hour airspeed. So the difference in wind makes a difference, right? If you have a headwind, if you have a 10 knot headwind, then the ground speed of the truck will be 50.
Okay.
And then, so because I have 10 knots, so I like to have about 60 to do that. For the takeoff, I only need about 45 miles an hour, and then I'm in the air. Okay,
well, good. Well, you know, that's going to be a really neat show out there. I mean, there's all kind of things going on. Last week we had the folks that do the sky riding, and they do it a little different. You know, they're using 5 airplanes, and then what you're doing, you know, if you go to your website, if you want to promote your website, go right ahead, and we'll send some folks over there.
Well, I appreciate that. It's KentPeach.com, and you spell it's Kent, K-E-N-T, with no space in between, Peach, PIETSCH.com.
Okay.
Airshow, excuse me, KentPeachAirshows.com, and they'll get it.
And if you
type it in there, you'll see it.
Yeah, and if you go to his website, you can see where there's a picture. There's actually 2 pictures. One of him, I guess, initially landing, it looks like a pickup truck, and then one where you've already landed on a pickup truck. So I have a pickup truck. It's out in Denver right now, and I have 2 airplanes, and I have that one. I'll be going down to San Antonio and then out to Temecula, California with that one. And this one here, I just came from Memphis, and before that, Andrews Air Base, and in Washington D.C. And now I'm in Rome, and everything, the equipment's all there. I'm personally down in Florida bringing an airplane back for static display for the show. It's an old 1937 Waco biplane that was sold to the Guatemalan Air Force. And there's 7 of them were sold to them in 1937, and this is the only one flying. So we'll have that up there to look at too. Oh, well, good. And if you go to your website, I know if you look under photos and stuff, it's got all kind of pictures of you, you know, landing, looks like it landing on the RV, and also some pictures of you in the air. So this is going to be pretty exciting. Looking forward to seeing your part of the show out there. Well, I appreciate that. It's a lot of fun to do, and I hope I promote aviation with it, is what I'm trying to do. So, and you said Jelly Belly will actually have a like a little booth or something set up there. So no, actually we go through the crowd. Okay. The people at Rome are going to have people go through and then go through the crowd and give them away. So people just stand there, and then we'll give little packages away at Jelly Belly just to get their product out so people can see what it is. Well, I'm like you. That's a line I'll definitely be in. So do you know what time your first performance will be on Saturday and Sunday? I wish I did. I would be probably right around 11 to 12 o'clock. I don't have that schedule with me down here, so I can't really say, but it's you can contact people at Rome, and they'll give you the times on that. And the first one, I'm going to be one of the first ones out to fly. Okay. So right around 11, 12 o'clock, something like that, I would say. Well, that sounds good. We look forward to seeing you down there. Once again, Kent, give your website, and let's send some folks over there. And we do appreciate you being here on Hot News Talk Radio AM 1240. I appreciate you having me on. I appreciate it very much. And if you want it again, it's Kent Peach, PIETSCH, Airshows with plural.com. Okay, sounds good, Kent, and we'll see you at the air show, and good luck, and enjoy yourself in Florida. You bet. Looking forward to meeting you. Thanks. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. All right, the North Georgia Air Show is this coming weekend. It's going to be both on Saturday and Sunday. It starts about 11 o'clock on Saturday and about 11 o'clock on Sunday. Look, they're going to have barbecue. They're going to have the Budweiser horses there. They're going to have the air show. And then, of course, at the Saturday night, they're going to have a big concert with the Charlie Daniels Band. Hey, you know, you got Charlie Daniels Band, air show, and barbecue. You can't beat that. Also, you'll be able to, I think they're going to have fireworks too, so which is pretty cool. And keep in mind, they're going to have planes that what they call they're static. They're on the ground. They're not going to be moving around, that you'll be able to go through there and you'll be able to see those. And I just got a ton of stuff. I mean, this is a pretty big air show, so you want to make plans to get down there. You can go to their website, wingsovernorthgeorgia.com. That's wingsovernorthgeorgia.com. And you can buy your tickets there. You can do everything there. You're listening to Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. Be sure and follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Very simple, Hot News Talk Radio on both of them, Facebook and Twitter. We don't make it complicated. At the same time, you can go to hotnewstalkradio.com, hotnewstalkradio.com, and listen to us just about anywhere. You're listening to the Mr. Judd Show.
Expect cloudy skies with areas of showers for your Tuesday. Afternoon highs settling into the mid-70s, but on the muggy side tonight, a lingering shower possible, lows upper 60s. For Wednesday, still unsettled, lots of clouds. Can't rule out a passing shower. Highs near 75, cooler and drier for Thursday. Come see why more people are making the short drive to Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Lafayette or online at jacksongm.com. That's Jackson Chevy Buick GMC in Lafayette. And I'm WDEF News Falls Chief Meteorologist Patrick Orr on AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Costa, host of the Costa Report, every Sunday at 9 a.m. My guest this week was the former Secretary of Education, Mr. William Bennett, whose controversial new book titled America the Strong is getting ready to hit bookstores this month. Don't miss a thought-provoking one-on-one conversation with William Bennett this Sunday at 9 a.m. on the Costa Report, right here on AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
Here you are, working to keep your customers happy and to manage your cash flow. IRS problems are the last thing you need, but here they are, flapping about you like vultures. Get help from Eric Pelton and his team of accountants at E.J. Pelton Company. Audits, letters, proposed return changes, 1099s, penalty threats. Pelton Tax Resolution Services brings peace of mind and helps you keep more of what you've earned. EJPelton.com. Offices on Brainerd Road and in Saudi Daisy, just north of the Bilo. That's E.J. Pelton. Call 622-3156. Think ahead, 622-3156.
Hey, all you gun enthusiasts! Carter Shooting Supply has just bought a crazy load of guns and is having a crazy huge sale event. Going on now, a huge inventory of Smith & Wesson, Glock, Ruger, and Taurus, all on sale. Taurus guns have a mail-in rebate for $25 to $50. All long guns and all ammo on sale, too, just in time for hunting season. Come in and take advantage of this crazy huge sale event. Going on now at Carter Shooting Supply. Or shop from home by going to cartershootingsupply.com. Highway 58, Harrison. Check our prices before you buy.
Are you tired of working in corporate America, or have you recently lost your job and would like to consider owning your own business? If you are, please call me, as I can help you look at franchises or business opportunities that fit you, the economy that we're in, and the type of businesses that are right in the greater Chattanooga area. After I help my clients find the right opportunity, I also help them find the best way to finance the business, including paying yourself through the startup phase. If you would like to learn more about opportunities that may be right for you, please call me for a free assessment. My name is Bruce Krebs at the Entrepreneur Source. Phone number is 423-875-5621.
If you have the DTs, the shakes, because your phone is on the fritz, you have nomophobia. You need help. Your telecom doctor is in. Cell Surgeon at Northgate Mall. Cell Surgeon yanks open the ribcage of your phone, pries out the dead heart, and puts in the beating life that you lead on your cell phone. Broken screen, phone not charging, water damage, battery given out. Cell Surgeon in Northgate Mall next Old Chicago Pizza. Check us out on Facebook. Open Sunday. Cell Surgeon. We bring your phone back to life. Mention Hot News Talk Radio and get 10% off.
This is America Now with Meghan McCain.
Al Gore running is crazy. You're flying around in your private jet all over the world, and you want average Americans to care about the environment. Don't you think you should be doing your part as well?
Meghan McCain, weekdays at 7 p.m.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Ooh, baby, it's the Mr. Judd Show.
You've been high flying on the Mr. Judd Show. I'd like to thank Kent Peach for being a guest early. He's a busy fella. And that takes talent to be landing on an RV. I mean, I guess if he really wanted to do something, he could land on one of those smart cars. Now, I think he could carry one of those smart cars. His plane's pretty cool looking. Go to his website. That he's got some pretty neat pictures on there. Tomorrow, as you may or may not know, Bruce Krebs will be here during this time between 11 and noon. Please listen to Bruce. He brings the Entrepreneur Hour, and he is the owner of the Entrepreneur Source, where he can get you into a franchise that is suitable to your background, interest, capital available. I mean, he kind of takes it from the beginning and walks you all the way through the end to make sure that you are successful. You can give him a call at any time, 423-875-5621. That's 423-875-5621. And I hope you listened to the David Tulis show. He had Patrick Neal from Edward Jones in here. And that was a pretty interesting conversation. I didn't realize, and David and I were talking about it off the air, I didn't realize he has to go out and do cold calling, and that's not easy. Trust me, that is not easy to get out and knock on those doors and kind of present yourself. So if you have any more questions for him or something they didn't get to that you'd like to ask, give Patrick Neal of Edward Jones a call, 423-870-7894, 423-870-7894. And I've had a lot of questions, especially on Twitter, about the TuneIn app. And the TuneIn app, I'll kind of explain it to you right quick. The TuneIn app has a variety of radio stations, not only from Chattanooga, but from across, across the world. But it's very simple to use. If you have a smartphone, if you have an Android platform, or if you have an iPhone, you can download it for free, and it's just very, very simple to do. So you download the TuneIn app, and then once you get it downloaded, if you're here in Chattanooga, you push, it has a thing that says local, and it brings up all of the radio stations that are on there. For some reason, they list the FM stations first. So you may have to scroll down a little bit, but you'll see us under AM, Hot News Talk Radio, 1240 AM. Or you can always type in Hot News Talk Radio 1240 AM. And if you even put Chattanooga on the back of it, it'll pull it up. Now, once it's up there, if you sign up and sign in, you can save that app so you can keep it all the time. That is probably the way I listen to the radio when I'm not on the radio or I'm not here in the studio. That's the way I listen to it most of the time. I just enjoy listening to radio that way. That way, if I'm mowing or working out, oh, that's funny, or whatever I'm doing, I've got my smartphone with me, and it's very easy to. So I wanted to address that. I know some people had to hit me up on Twitter and said, "Hey, how do you do this?" And I thought, well, I'll go ahead and give a brief tutorial. And the tutorial is free too. See, we get all kind of free stuff here. Governor Haslam worried about the VW scandal effects on sales jobs at the Chattanooga plant. This is from the Times Free Press. If you're so worried, why don't you stop talking about it? I mean, have you thought about that? If you're so worried about it, stop talking about it. Tennessee Governor Bill Haslam urged Volkswagen to quickly address consumer worries about the company's vehicle emissions testing scandal because of the potential impact on sales and jobs at the VW Chattanooga plant. Now, I hadn't heard a lot of consumers talk about it. Now, granted, a disclaimer here, I have not spoke to every consumer in the United States, but I'm just not hearing the consumers all upset about it. I'm hearing the media all upset about it. I'm seeing politicians take this opportunity to act like they're upset about it so that they can say, look, here I'm doing something. I'm justifying my job. But as far as consumers, I have not heard consumers worried about this. Is it going to affect them buying a car? A Volkswagen? Probably not. And here's why. The percentage of Volkswagen diesel sales are a lot lower than gasoline sales. I think most consumers understand, and if they're going to buy a Volkswagen, they're going to buy a Volkswagen. Haslam says his primary concern is getting Volkswagen back to where they were in mode to sell cars. Really? That's your primary concern? Okay. Then hush. But no, they're going to have this big, we've got Bo Watson, and I think Bo Watson does an okay job, but they want to have this big event so they can publicize it and look at the politicians are coming in and sitting down with Volkswagen, and they're doing the people's work. If you're really worried about the negative publicity, maybe you wouldn't be, I don't know, making a big spectacle out of this thing. It's just me. It's all of the talk and worry and the talk that the politicians show that could get the consumers concerned. But honestly, I believe the American consumer is smart enough to look and say, those darned old politicians are up to it again. So I just find that interesting that the governor, he had to get involved. He didn't have enough on his plate. So he's going to get in the middle of the VW, and he calls it a scandal. And, is it a scandal? I don't know if it's a scandal. What they did was wrong, but I don't think that necessarily makes it a scandal. So, maybe if the politicians and maybe, the press, if something new from Volkswagen, not from politicians, comes out, reports it, that's one thing. But just for politicians to get involved and say, look, I'm working for the people. I'm working for the people of Tennessee. And I'm going to make a great spectacle out of this because it's all about me and my politician buddies. VW, I can't even spell it. But anyway, I'm working for the people. Just my take on it. I think it's a bunch ado about nothing, as you've heard on these airways before. After me is the digital drive. If you have not heard the adolescent on the digital drive, then you are probably one or maybe 1.5 people in the city have not heard it. He got in a little bit about yesterday was Google's birthday. Google, who's a search engine, which is now a verb, they turned 22, 23 yesterday or something like that. Anyway, he's going to be talking more about that. He got all into Mars. He's ready to go to Mars. In fact, he said he's contacted a couple of travel agents. And they can't find anybody that has the Mars tour, so he may go into the travel business so he can get Mars, get you going to Mars. I mean, who knows? Next month you may get to go to Mars through the adolescent. He said it'd be adolescent Mars tours, and it would be very, very inexpensive. It may be a one-way trip, but you'll have a good time. You're listening to Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Expect cloudy skies with areas of showers for your Tuesday. Afternoon highs settling into the mid-70s, but on the muggy side tonight, lingering shower possible, lows upper 60s. For Wednesday, still unsettled, lots of clouds. Can't rule out a passing shower. Highs near 75, cooler and drier for Thursday. Come see why more people are making the short drive to Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Lafayette or online at jacksongm.com. That's Jackson Chevy Buick GMC in Lafayette. And I'm WBGM
Compass Media Network's
12.
coverage of the NFL. Hi, this is Jerry Recco. Join Kevin Ray, Danny White, myself for all the action.
Hot News Talk 1240.
If it's the NFL, it's right here.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
Hot News Talk 1240.
Social media, we're on that. Hot News Talk Radio on Facebook, at Hot News Talk Radio on Twitter. Download the TuneIn app and follow us anywhere at any time. AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
If the South would have won, we'd have had it made. I'd probably run for president of the Southern states. The day Elvis passed away would be our national holiday. If the South would have won, we'd have had it made.
NASCAR, Laura Ingraham, David Tulis, Coast to Coast AM, and CBS Radio News.
Fox News Radio. I'm Lillian Wu. The president and Cuban leader meeting at the UN this morning, a day after a face-to-face between President Obama and Russian President Vladimir Putin.
The meeting lasted about 90 minutes, with the leaders bringing deep divisions to the table at first. The White House wanted to discuss holding Moscow to a peace plan with Ukraine, the Kremlin preferring to discuss Syria and the fight against ISIS.
Fox Radio's Gernal Scott. Consumer confidence on the rise again in September, hitting its highest reading since January. And some sick kids getting the surprise of their hospital stay, a face-to-face with superheroes.
I got so happy. I've never seen superheroes.
That's one of the children who got to see the likes of Superman, Spider-Man, and Wonder Woman rappelling down the side of a children's hospital in the San Francisco Bay Area. The costumed window washers then got to meet them inside. Fox News, we report, you decide.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Ooh, baby, it's the Mr. Judd Show.
So Barack Hussein Obama has met with the leader of Cuba twice this year. I'm thinking that's 2 more times than he's met with the Republicans. Good job, Barack Hussein Obama. I didn't know the leader of Cuba was a Muslim. I didn't say that out loud. Oh, my goodness. I'm sorry. Hey, we're going to get into some Islamic issues here in just a moment. Some things are going on, and I have it's just interesting how all this stuff works together. From the New York Times, and this was from Sunday, and this is out of Duncan, South Carolina. Now, Duncan, South Carolina is not a very big place. You know, it's not one of these, I'm guessing it's probably the size of Dunlap, maybe just a little bigger. It says the worried citizens gathered in the high school cafeteria, about 200 strong, patriotic songs played on the stereo. A man in a blue blazer from the John Birch Society hovered by a well-stocked literature table, and Lauren L. Martell, a lawyer from Hilton Head, told the crowd that 25 Syrian refugees were already living among them. Now, the UN calls it refugee resettlement. The Muslims call it Hijra, migration. And another speaker, Jim McClellan, a local businessman, they don't plan to assimilate. They don't plan to take on our culture. They plan to change the American life. You know, that sounds pretty good. Just, you know, one dude standing up at a meeting saying that. But if you kind of start putting some stories in and around here, it says the United States government has pledged to increase the number of worldwide refugees allowed in this country each year from 70,000 to 100,000 by the year 2017. Earlier this month, the Barack Hussein Obama administration said it would like to take at least 10,000 Syrian refugees over the next year. But the anger and the anxiety here show just how hard this might be in some parts of the country. Why, you may ask yourself, why would this be so hard? Well, maybe because in May of 2015, and this is from WND.com, 51% of U.S. Muslims prefer Sharia law over the Constitution. 51%. Over half. Barely over half, but over half. There's now an estimated 3 million Muslims residing in the United States as citizens or with permanent legal status, and more than 250,000 new Muslim residents enter the U.S. per year as refugees on work visas, student-based visas, according to the Center of Immigration Studies. A poll commissioned in May 2015 by the Center of Security Policy showed that 51% of American Muslims prefer that they should have their own Sharia courts outside of the legal system ruled by the U.S. Constitution. And here's the big one. Nearly a quarter believed the use of violent jihad was justified in establishing Sharia. Now, these people are already here. They're not coming in. They're not a part of ISIS, or they may be a part of ISIS, but they're not in the Middle East. They're here. So this would translate into roughly 300,000 Muslims living in the U.S. who believe that Sharia, the Muslim God Allah's law that Muslims must follow and impose worldwide by jihad. I mean, think about that. They're willing. We have 300,000 people here, Muslims. Those everyday, how are you doing? See you at the, Food City Muslims. 300,000 of them are already here, and they believe and they want Sharia law, and they believe that they would do it by jihad. I mean, think about that. And Barack Hussein Obama, he would like to, let in some more. I mean, it's such a good thing, because, he is a strict follower of the U.S. Constitution. So I'm sure that by his example, that these 300,000 Muslims that would be willing to commit jihad for Sharia law, I'm sure he could convert them. The great Barack Hussein Obama, the defender of the United States Constitution, the constitutionalist himself, could lead these 300,000 Muslims from their wayward path, and then they would be good, wouldn't need Sharia law, because Barack Hussein Obama is such a follower of the United States. He loves the United States Constitution. Well, maybe he doesn't. Anyway, so I kind of went, being the birthday of Google yesterday, so I Googled me up some Islamic Sharia stuff, and there's 10 things in the Sharia law you need to know. Number 10 is that Islam commands that drinkers and gamblers should be whipped. Well, that's not going to be very much fun. I can tell you right now. What are they going to do? Go to Bud's? Just go down to Bud's and start caning the heck out of people. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, and you know why? I mean, I'm sure there's reasons. And there's a big article. This is the AmericanThinker.com. Go to the AmericanThinker.com, and the whole article, and he backs up everything on here, and he talks about, like in 2005 in Nigeria, a Sharia court ordered that a drinker should be caned with 80 strokes. I mean, that's not, you're not going to have, that would end our immigration problem. I guarantee you that. Who wants to come to a country like that? My goodness. Okay. Islam allows husbands to hit their wives, even if the husbands merely fear high-handedness in their wives. So you really don't have to have a justification. I mean, I don't think that's going to go well here either. But, it's Sharia law. It is Sharia law. So, I mean, it's just, I like it because he backs up not only where it is in the Quran, but he backs up what's happened recently, in recent times. Number 8, Islam allows an injured plaintiff to exact legal revenge, physical eye for physical eye. And he goes through and talks about in Saudi Arabia, this has happened, Pakistan. Of course, in Iran, this has happened over and over. An Iranian court orders a man eye to be removed for throwing acid on another man and blinding him in both eyes. Like I said, this would cure our immigration problem. I think if we start this, we don't have to worry about a wall on the border. I mean, I'm not going to do that. See y'all later. Islam commands that a male and female thief must have a hand cut off. So if you steal something, quack, they cut your hand off. And I mean, Islam commands that highway robbers should be crucified or mutilated. So maybe you've done something that wasn't that bad. So instead of crucifying you, they just mutilate you. I mean, I think this may be the key to our immigration problem right here. And I say that lighthearted because this is horrible stuff. Islam commands that homosexuals must be executed. So let me get this. When Barack Hussein Obama lit up the White House in the red, white, and blue rainbow flag, should he be executed? I'm just asking under Sharia law is all I'm asking. That's all I'm doing. Islam orders unmarried fornicators to be whipped and adulterers to be stoned to death. There you go. That keeps right there. There's our immigration problem solved. Once and only solved. Number 3, Islam orders death for Muslims and possible death for non-Muslims, critics of Muhammad, the Quran, and even Sharia law. So if you criticize it, if there's a law you don't like, if there's something about Muhammad you don't like, kaboom, you're dead. I mean, no questions asked. We're just going to kill you. I mean, it's going to be population control also. I mean, think about this. There's going to be a lot of population control and a lot of, immigration control there. Islam orders apostates to be killed. Yep. There you go. There's the Christians. They're gone. They're gone. They're out of here, or anyone else. Islam commands offensive and aggressive and unjust jihad. Well, Like I said, we're going to have a population control and immigration plan all in one. And keep in mind, 51% of American Muslims would like to live under Sharia law. Is this something you, listeners to Hot News Talk Radio AM 1240, is it something that you want to listen to? Well, I tell you what I want to listen to. I want to listen to Clutch. Now, Clutch is from 1 to 2, Monday through Friday here. It's with Keon Rose. It is the best and first local sports show in Chattanooga. So you got to catch him, okay? It's from 1 to 2, Clutch. He does a great job. He even lets me come on his show every now and then. I guess I'll be on the show maybe tomorrow, and we'll go over our picks, and then we'll do our other picks and our new picks and all that good stuff. But you got to listen to Clutch. It's from 1 to 3. He follows the digital drive with the adolescent. And I mean, we just have a stellar lineup here at AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. Did you get that? Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. All right, when we come back, who knows what's going to happen? We might get into a little drone talk, or excuse me, unmanned aerial vehicle talk.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Expect cloudy skies with areas of showers for your Tuesday. Afternoon highs settling into the mid-70s, but on the muggy side tonight, a lingering shower possible, lows upper 60s. For Wednesday, still unsettled, lots of clouds. Can't rule out a passing shower. Highs near 75, cooler and drier for Thursday. Come see why more people are making the short drive to Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Lafayette or online at jacksongm.com. That's Jackson Chevy Buick GMC in Lafayette. And I'm WDEF News 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Orr on AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio.
This is America Now with Megan McCain.
Al Gore running is crazy. You're flying around in your private jet all over the world, and you want average Americans to care about the environment. Don't you think you should be doing your part as well?
Megan McCain, weekdays at 7 p.m.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Are you tired of feeling like just another account number to your financial advisor? Try something refreshingly different. Call Edward Jones Financial Advisor Patrick Neal in Hickson at 870-7894. Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
Sky Aerial Services uses advanced drone technology to give you a better perspective and depth of your property and project. We offer aerial photography and video for your business, farm, home, or advertising campaigns, as well as editing services to complete the experience. Call us at 423-521-0284 and see how we can help you tell your story about your business, property, or project. We work with real estate professionals, both commercial and residential, developers, engineer inspectors, surveyors, ad agencies, auto and boat dealers, mapping services, insurance inspectors, corporate marketing, charity events, weddings, and photographers. Our consultation is free. Call 423-521-0284. That's 423-521-0284, or visit our website, skyaerialservices.com. Sky Aerial Services. The sky is our limit. Social media, we're on that. Hot News Talk Radio on Facebook, at Hot News Talk Radio on Twitter. Download the TuneIn app and follow us anywhere at any time. AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio.
Tired of insurance companies? Tired of doctors that won't spend time with you? Do something different. Leave the sick care model of medicine and come to Dr. Danielle Mitchell, the Chattanooga Sports Institute and Center for Health, where we're interested in long-term health solutions, not the quick fixes. Come see me, Dr. Danielle Mitchell, at the Chattanooga Sports Institute and Center for Health. I'm all about the long-term healthcare solutions and doing what's best. On the web, you can find me at ChattanoogaSportsInstitute.com. That's ChattanoogaSportsInstitute.com. Or call us at 875-1005, 875-1005, or find us on social media, Facebook, Dr. Danielle Mitchell, or the ChattanoogaSportsInstitute.com. Let's go, ya!
We've got a table here at Delia's in Saudi Daisy, ready to delight in a plate of authentic Mexican food. Delia's spreads a rich selection: loaded nachos, crazy chicken, homemade tamales, maybe the enchiladas with beef, chicken, pork, quesadillas. Every dish beautifully pictured on the menu to help us decide. Join us for lunch or dinner. We're at Delia's in Saudi Daisy on Dayton Pike near the Thrasher Light. Here's dinner. Delia's uses the freshest ingredients, cooked to perfection. Nachos, homemade. Delia's open every day except the Lord's Day. For lunch and dinner, treat yourself to Delia's genuine Mexican food. In Saudi, call 521-7145. That's 521-7145.
Hi, I'm David Tulis, inviting you to make the move with me 9 to 11 a.m. weekdays here at AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. The David Tulis Show, featuring Nooganomics.com for Chattanooga and beyond. 9 to 11 a.m. weekdays.
That smells so good. Smells like a big Italian dinner. But you're going to walk out with two. Buy one hot pizza, get one for free. 2 pizzas. You got the 2 for the price of 1 at Raphael's Italian Restaurant and Pizzeria. My favorite Italian restaurant of all the time. Now, I'm living in Hickson. I go to Raphael's right down the street in Hickson Pike, right near Highland Plaza. You're in Saudi Daisy? At Raphael's Italian Restaurant and Pizzeria in Saudi Daisy. Just next to Saudi Daisy Church of God. Hey, you're on Signal Mountain. There's a Raphael's Italian Restaurant and a Pizzeria. It's right on the main drag. You're going to love the pasta, the pizza. Buy one hot pizza, get one for free. 2 pizzas. You got the 2 for the price of 1 at Raphael's Italian Restaurant and Pizzeria. Tastes so good. Bring the whole family. Come on, Raphael's Italian Restaurant and Pizzeria. Mangia. Salute.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Ooh, baby, it's the Mr. Judd Show.
Yes, it is the one and the only. Nothing like it. The number one radio program at this radio station between 11 and noon is this show right here. Hey, I do want to correct. Bruce Krebs will be here on Thursday. So if you're looking for the Entrepreneur Source Hour, it will be on Thursday, and I'll make sure I remind you of that tomorrow. So you get to hang out with me tomorrow. Wee. I have some good stuff planned for you. And you know, you heard the commercial for the Chattanooga Sports Institute, Danielle Mitchell. We want to congratulate her once again. She is actually an Ironman participant, and have not heard from her yet. Like to hear from her how that went. Maybe we can get her just real quick on the show tomorrow to give us a quick update or something like that, and see exactly how it went and the overall experience. I've said it before, my hat goes off to these people that are, you know, doing a 2.4 mile swim, and then they're riding a bicycle for 114 miles, and then they're doing a full marathon, 26.2 miles. That's not something I think that they woke up Saturday morning and said, you know, I think tomorrow I'm going to do the Ironman competition. But I know she trains hard, and I know there's a lot of people here in Chattanooga. She had a great show last Wednesday talking about all of the people here in Chattanooga that, you know, that really participate in this thing. And I mean, it, you know, like I said, my heart and my everything goes out to these people because they're making a heck of a sacrifice. I have an idea after going back down, just kind of real quick. Here's what we've covered on the show today. Okay. We talked to Kent Peach, and he is going to be one of the flyers at the Wings Over North Georgia. So you got to make sure you go down there and see him. He's actually going to land his plane on an RV. He actually does 3 different shows, but in one of his shows, so he was our first guest. And if you missed that, you can go to youtube.com and just, you know, like us. It's Hot News Talk Radio on youtube.com. Very simple. You know, we got the hotnewstalkradio.com. We got the YouTube thing, Hot News Talk Radio. We got Facebook and Twitter, Hot News Talk Radio. You can go to the TuneIn app, and it's Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. So the Hot News Talk Radio is kind of a theme we have here. I don't know if you picked up on that or not, but if not, I've just pointed it out to you. But you can hear that interview at any time after my show is over. You can catch all of our shows there. And then we did a quick thing about Haslam getting involved in the VW, which is always good when politicians get involved like that, even though he's a businessman. I understand, but maybe the politicians need to stay out of the VW thing. And then we just went through you know, how 51% of the Muslims in American Muslims would like to be under Sharia law. And guess what? Sharia law doesn't sound like that. You know, it's going to be that fun. I'm sure it would help the immigration problem, and I'm sure it would help the population problem, but I just don't think we'd have the freedoms that we have right now, that we have under the Constitution. But I have a great idea. One of our sponsors here, maybe if the Muslims, the 51% of the Muslims that would like to be under Sharia law, maybe if they just abided.
Have you been struggling to lose weight? Are you tired of using fad diets and getting nowhere? We have a diet that is guaranteed to work and has been around since the beginning of time. Our diet is Decomposure. That's right, Decomposure. Guaranteed to work, and it's been around since Cain and Abel. As with all diets, please consult your physician or psychiatrist. Remember, Decomposure, the diet that's guaranteed to work every time.
See, I think it'd work great if the 51% of Muslims that want to live under Sharia law, if they went on the Decomposure diet. I think that may help them out, and it may help us out. I think it would just be a whole great thing. I think that would work well for them. I know that was mean. You're so mean. Oh, I'm mean. It's all with tongue into cheek. Okay, drones. Drones, they're everywhere. That's all you hear about. These mean, oh, nasty drones are taking over the world. But what kind of good things are they going to bring in our future? Well, we say, you know, we say if you tweet us, you know, follow us on Twitter, Hot News Talk Radio. If you see something going on, let us know, especially if it's a traffic incident on today, like today, or maybe bad weather. If we do get some heavy rains and we have some flooding, you need to let us know there. But we say, you know, we're going to let you report and the world decides. Well, we're going to go all the way across the Pacific to Japan, and this is the Japan Times. Drones are attracting widespread attention for their potential use in a broad range of tasks, including aerial photography and goods delivery. Now, that's really what a lot of people talk about. They talk about, you know, you can do the aerial photography, and, you know, Amazon's going to deliver, these people are going to deliver pizzas and all of this. But I tell you where you're probably going to see a big explosion and with drone use, and that is on mapping. I think with mapping is going to be big, and it's already started to show up, but that's going to be big. And also in farming, as far as spraying, whether it's fertilizer spraying or pesticide spraying, we're starting to see in South America and in Japan and other parts of the world where they are using drones to really, you know, effectively, and not have to use the harsh chemicals, but really effectively putting down, you know, pest control and stuff like that. But I think mapping is going to be huge. And I think that is where you're going to really see an explosion of jobs there. In Japan, thousands of large models are being used to spray, and we're talking about drones or unmanned aerial vehicles, are used to spray agriculture chemicals, while about 20,000 people are employed for aerial photography, videography, and this is according to the Japanese Land Infrastructure, Transport, and Tourism Ministry. Now, it's saying in use now, and in use in an industrial way, they have over 200,000 drones. And I mean, this is a culture that's really accepting this. You know, we're worried about privacy issue. You're not going to fly on my house. You'll see, you know, my dog in the backyard going to the bathroom. I don't want that. And that's not what's happening. And I think when you see that you can, when the software, and it's already there, is starting and is catching up with the UAV flights, you're going to see tower inspections instead of people. Have you ever seen TVA? I mean, they've got some poor guy literally on a wire or a rope hanging out of a helicopter doing transmission line and tower inspections. How'd you like to be that guy? I mean, the helicopter get a little too close, you know, and it's Barbecue City. I think you're going to be able to see drones do that. I think you're going to be able to see drones do inspections of bridges. I mean, there's another dangerous job. Something simple. You have a storm come through. You have a hailstorm. You have high wind. Let's say it's here in Chattanooga. Well, a lot of your insurance adjusters, you know, they drive around with a ladder. And so that ladder, they're up and down, up and down. How dangerous is that? I mean, you're climbing on the roof. The most dangerous part is when you get off the roof onto the ladder. You can do those inspections in about half the time with the drone, the right software, and it'd be very precise. If you're in the roofing business, this is something you need to look at. You know, maybe you say, I can't, you know, I don't want to get into the technology and drones, but, you know, in Sky Aerial Services, this is something we can do. We can fly over a house, map out just the roof, and then you can take your measurements and you'll be able to, you know, half the time get good solid measurements, and you will be able to, you know, be able to give a precise estimate, and you will be able to save time, labor, and materials. And that's something simple. But how about a large commercial roof? How about Hamilton Place Mall? How about if they would like their roof, you know, they're going to have some roof work, you know, that can be measured, that can be mapped out. Or maybe something, let's take Riverbend. They can take right now, go down there, use a UAV and map out Riverbend, and then go to them, and Riverbend can say, here's the best use for our vendors. Here's the traffic patterns. Here's what they're doing. That can be done right now. So I think you're going to see that in the future, where it's not just, you know, real estate photography or videography or a lot of hobbyists. This is an industry that's here to stay, that's going to provide jobs, and it's going to provide well-paying jobs, technical jobs on not only the flying of the drones, but on the repair and the building of the drones. So we're just on the cusp of this. It's so exciting. Give us a call at Sky Aerial Services if you'd like to know more. 423-521-0284, 423-521-0284, and we'll be more than happy to talk to you and see how we can help you. Bruce Krebs supposed to be here tomorrow, but I think he's out of town. So he's going to be on Thursday. He'll be here from 11 to noon. Don't forget, after me is the one and only, the adolescent of the digital drive. Then after him, Clutch. What a great sports show that is, hosted by Keon Rose. And then at 5, we have Live at 5, which is going to give you all of your local news, your local traffic, and your local weather. And then the one and only Cowboy Up with Tex is back from 6 to 7. You are listening to Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240.